I made $600 from turning this into this. I got them from Facebook Market for $40 and I used about $55 worth of supplies. First thing we want to do is clean the surface because we wanted to make it easier for us to remove the old finish when we start sanding. Since it's not solid wood and we're just painting right over it, we're just going to scuff sand the whole surface using a 120 grit. And as you can see, there's a little bit of water damage going on here, but all I did was go over those little spots a couple times till they were the same level as the whole surface. I like to use a sponge brush when it comes to primer because it just gets into the corners a lot easier, and I usually just dispose the brush right after. And for those who are just starting their flipping journey, it's really recommended to always put a primer when it comes to painting furniture. The primer is going to prevent the old stain from bleeding through the new paint that we're going to put on. And it's going to help the paint stick to the furniture a lot better. So I prefer to hand paint my furniture instead of spray painting because we need the texture of the brush strokes to make it more look like wood grain. I wanted to look like white oak, so I went for a tan beige color as my base paint. It's important to make sure that you're painting along the grain, so horizontal and vertical way, because the brush strokes are going to show once we put the glaze on top. I forgot to mention this about the primer, but make sure you guys are waiting until it's completely dry until you put the paint on. The same thing with the paint. Make sure you guys wait until it's completely dry until you start putting the glaze over it. I use a sponge brush again to spread the stain all over the surface. Make sure you guys are working in small sections because the glaze can dry up pretty quickly and it's going to be a lot harder for it to move around. Now I'm using a round brush, and this is important because it does help a lot to show that wood grain texture. That's why I like to hand paint, because the brush strokes really replicates the wood grain. I brush the glaze against the grain first. It just helps to spread the glaze evenly throughout the surface and to make sure it's getting in between all the lines. So now we're going to go along with the grain. We're going to go horizontal first, and then on the sides, we're going to go vertical. And you just keep repeating that until you get your desired results. Let the glaze dry overnight, and then you can go over the entire surface with a matte finish. And if you're interested in knowing all the supplies that I use for each project, just click on the link in my profile.